All right. So again, I'm still, we do a lot with fractions, okay? And then we're going to do a lot more with fractions in the next chapter also. But here's just another type of proportion. All right, so what I want everybody to do is take a look at this. And I think everybody's, we did this, I think in 6th grade, some where we did scale drawings. Right, does everybody remember that? Right, where you kind of shrunk something down or made it larger or something along those lines. All right, but you guys definitely talked about it. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to review that topic. All right, so I want everybody to take a look at this first one right here. Now, this right here is the scale. All right, and what exactly is the scale? It's the relationship between the figure and the actual. All right, so they're saying that 1/4 inch represents what? Represents 2 feet. All right, that is called the scale. Now, so when you draw 1/4 inch, let's say that's 1/4 inch, in real life, that would measure what? 2 feet. All right, does everybody understand what I'm getting at here? Some people had trouble understanding that. Does everybody see that? Right, so everybody's seen plans, right, or even a model of something, right? It's been either shrunken down or it's been enlarged, depending upon the size of the object. All right, now, in this particular figure right here, I don't like the fact that they used 1/4 inch is equal to 2 feet. I would prefer that they would have said 1 inch is equal to what? Somebody tell me. What is 1 inch? If 1/4 inch is equal to 2 feet, Jolie, what would 1 inch equal? Come on. How many? What do you think? What do you think?
8.
What do you think? 1/4 inch. What do you think? 8. Now, what I want to do is I want to draw on the board so you can see it better, okay? So, listen, again, and this is what I'm trying to make sure everybody understands. So please participate now and make sure you're with me. All right, so I'm going to draw, I'm going to make a different, I'm going to add some paper here so I can make a good demonstration today. I'm going to add a page down here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a drawing. All right, because I want this to make good sense. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 1 inch. You guys just have to look up on the board. I'm going to draw 1 inch. Now, I want someone to tell me what does this represent? If this represents 1 inch, what does that piece represent? Molly. Remember, this represents 1 inch. From here to here represents 1 inch. What does that represent? No, not squares, but you're right. 1 what? It represents 1/4. So now all I want you to remember is just look up on the board. You don't have to write anything down. If I told you, again, this whole length right here was 1 inch, then explain to me why that represents 1/4 inch. Avery, tell me, why does that represent 1/4 inch? There's 4 quarters, there's 4 parts. I just divided it up into quarters. Jolie, you with me?
Yes.
That's all right. No, don't be sorry. I'm just asking. I want to make sure, right? So that represents 1/4. This represents 1/4. This represents 1/4. That represents 1/4. Is everybody with me on this? You with me? You don't have to write anything down. I just want you to concentrate. I got lots of time for the work. All right, we don't have to worry about the work. All right, worry about this right up here. You understand that now, Jolie, right? So if that's 1 inch, I drew it down to be 1/4 inch. Now, in our notes today, it said that 1/4 inch was equal to 2 feet. So this right here represents 2 feet. This represents 2 feet. This represents 2 feet. That represents 2 feet. So then we should be able to say that 1 inch is the same as what? 8 feet. Is everybody okay with that? Yeah. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Now, why did I say 1 inch was equal to 8 feet? I said 1 inch is equal to 8 feet because that makes the problems much easier and I don't have to worry about the fractions. All right? So now I'm going to go back to the original. I'm going to go back to the original, and it says that 1/4 inch is equal to 2 feet. Instead of 1/4 inch equals 2 feet, we are now comfortable that 1 inch is equal to what? 8 feet. To me, that's a better scale. All right, that's a better scale. Does anybody have any objections to that? All right, so now I can look at my actual questions. All right, we made a drawing. The length of the lobby is 16 feet. Then my drawing would be how wide?
Oh.
How many?
2 inches.
2 inches. Everybody agree with that? Everybody okay with that? Now let's say for some strange reason I didn't like that. So you would put 1 inch over 8 feet is equal to, where does the 16 go? Where does the 16 go? Ashler. Yeah, on the bottom, because feet go on the bottom and X goes on the top. And now what do we do? What's the rule for proportion? Yes. Yes, so you would get 8x equals 16, and then divide by 8, and so we would get x equals 2. Now, is that necessary? You have to do that. No, does anybody agree with me? You don't have to do that, right? I'm just saying that's how you can solve this using a proportion. Everybody agree? Come on, guys. I feel like you guys are doing the work and you're not paying attention. All right, so let's look at number, if the principal's office is 1.25 inches, how many feet would that be? Jolie?
8.
Well, now here's what I want everybody to notice up here, because I think I can really help you. Look, everybody look up. So what I'm saying now is you got to see the pattern from inches to this side, from 2 to 16. What did I do? Now, if I was at 2 inches, how do I get to 16 feet? By what? Yeah, you multiply by 8. So this is what I'm trying to show you. I just multiplied by 8. So if I'm going from the drawing to the actual, I just have to do what? Multiply by what?
8.
Multiply by 8. However, if I'm going from the actual to the drawing, I'd have to do what? Divide by 8. Usually that's like, oh, that's pretty cool, but nothing, right? Everybody see what I'm getting at? So Jolie, if I have 1.25 inches, I want you to use your calculator. How long would it actually be? No, listen to me. So here, let's say we're confused still, Jolie. Here we go. So I have I want the scale to be 1 inch is to 8 feet. Now, 1.25, what does 1.25 do on the top and bottom? Because, right, so I want you to put 1.25 here, and I want to put X here. So cross multiply. When I cross multiply, 1 times X is what?
1.
That equals, now the 8 times 1.25. 10. 10 feet. This is 10 feet. You hear that? What is you're okay, right?
Yeah.
Ma, is that okay with you? Avery, you okay with that? Okay, so now, if I have 20 feet, I want to know how big should I make the drawing? How big should I make the drawing? Look at it. Just tell me what the answer is. 2.5 inches? How did you do that? Yeah, 25 million. Billy, are you okay with that? Are you okay with that, Mom? All right. Boys, you okay? All right. So now if you have 3 inches, to me it was easier if they're whole numbers, right? 3 inches would automatically be how many feet? Come on, you didn't calculate that. Right, did I agree? If 1 inch is 8 feet, then 3 inches is what? Help me. 3 inches is 24 feet. Did I agree with that? What? Okay, so you're going to tell me 1.5 inches is what? 12 feet. Did I agree? All right, I just never understood why this was hard. All right, but again, if you're having a little trouble, I want you to tell me, right? Are you okay with this so far? Jolie, you're on track now, right? Actually, I bet you said you were good. Avery, you said you were good, right? Oh, let me go back. Maybe I made a mistake. See what I'm saying, right? Each quarter inch is 2 feet, right? So there are 4 quarter inches, so that means there's 4 2 feet. That makes sense now. Okay, I think that's good. All right, thank you. All right, let's go back now. All right, let's go around the room now. Tyler,
yeah.
What would be the cafeteria?
So 48 feet, and then, so I got 6 inches.
Yeah, it would be 6 inches. All right, Eddie, if the music room is 4 inches, then the actual length would be what?
Would it be 30?
Why?
Because 3 inches is 24. And,
But wait a minute, 1 inch is equal to how much?
8? Oh. So you said the 2.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to make sure everybody understands. You with me, right? I always go back to 1 inch is equal to 8 feet. So if I have 4 inches, that's 32. To me, I don't need to set up a proportion for that. Is that making sense? Can you always set up a proportion? Yeah, but if you understand the relationship, you know whether it's getting bigger or smaller. All right? So, Jackson, tell me about the gymnasium.
The gymnasium, 13 inches, 104 feet.
104 feet. Yeah. Very nice. 104 feet. Okay. So, Cole, if I have an auditorium that's 56 inches, 56 feet, how many inches would the drawing be?
7 inches.
Yeah, all right. I'm feeling good. 7 inches. Molly, let's have you do number 10. Anybody else get 14 feet?
Yeah.
So, okay, now I finally feel like I'm making sense. Jolie, right? Everything's good for you, kiddo, right? Right, Avery, everything's good for you? Ashley, you good? Boys?
Yeah.
Cole, you good? All right. All right, here we go. So now let's look over. Now, I want everyone actually to write this. I want everybody to write 1 inch is equal to 12 feet. That is called the scale. That is the scale. All right. Number 11 says, what's the scale factor? Now, how I finally figured this out, because I thought, what's the difference between the scale and the scale factor, right? The scale is just a relationship between 2 measurements. Factor literally means how many times bigger is it? How many times bigger? All right? So what do you think it is?
12.
12. Ashley, what is the answer? What's the scale factor? Molly, what is it, Cole? What are you thinking?
12. 6.
Oh, I put 8, I put 12 feet. I'm so sorry. You guys, that's what you're looking for. 1 inch is equal to 8 feet. Sorry.
Oh.
Right. So again, it's still not what I'm looking for. Man, I messed that up. Sorry. 1 inch is equal to 8 feet. That's the scale, but it's not the scale factor. Uh-oh, I got an answer here. What do you think? What do you think? What if I told you it was?
10.
16.
What if I
7.
told you the scale was 1
8.
to 96?
What?
What the?
1 to 96 is the scale.
Oh, because it's just an inch. What? Oh, I know that now.
Why is it 1 to 96?
Because 96 inches are 8 feet.
How much?
96 inches are 8 feet.
Thank you
No,
so
put that
much.
centimeter down
All right.
now.
Thank you very
It's not
much. So
I
listen,
don't care.
that's the difference between the scale and the scale factor. The scale factor has to have the same units. Scale factor has to have the same units. So now, what I'm going to do is, I want everyone to
It
be able
is
to,
no cap.
before you guys came in today, I said, I don't like the interruptions and the being loud. All right? I just don't. I want you to participate. I want you to tell me, not scream at me. All right? So I want everybody to write down 1 inch, not 1 inch, but 12 inches is equal to how many feet? 1, right? 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So now my scale is 1 inch is equal to 8 feet. But 8 feet, Jackson, is what?
8 feet is 96 inches.
Is 96 inches. All right. Now, when you make a ratio, what can I do with the inches and the inches? They would do what to each other? Cancel. Right now, if I made the scale, which was 1 inch to 8 feet, can I reduce the inches and the feet? No, because they're different units. Come on now, you got to listen to me what I just said. If I were to make that a fraction, can I reduce the inches and the feet? No, because they are what? They are different units. But because we said 8 feet is the same as 96 inches, if I were now to make the fraction 1 inch is to 96 inches, can I reduce the inches now? Yes. All right. So I want everybody to think of it as like a fraction. So that's why the scale. That's why the scale factor is 1 to 96. Or we could say that the actual length is 96 times what the drawing is. Or you could say the drawing is 1/96 of the actual building. Or whatever. Yes.
Wow, how do you get 1 inch equals 8 feet?
That's what we did up here. That's what it told us.
Oh, yeah.
1 inch is equal to 8 feet. And I made a mistake because I just put 12. So I made a mistake. Okay, so now what we want is they're changing it up. I want someone to tell me what the scale factor is if the scale is 10 inches to 1 foot. 10 to what?
60.
Why 60?
Because 60.
Go on. Shh. Well,
12 inches,
there you
sorry.
go. Don't worry. So it is 10 inches. I want everybody to write the fraction. 10 inches to 12 inches. Just tell me. All right. 10 inches to 12 inches. Everybody agree with that? And now, what do I do with the inches? What do we do with the inches, guys?
Simplify.
Yeah, simplify. The inches cancel because it's the same unit.
Yeah.
So then we just have to reduce 10 over 12. What's 10 over 12? Yes, 5 over 6. That's the scale. Okay with that? Any issue? All right, let's try the next one.
Write it with the dots or the fraction?
I want you to write as fractions. But if you write it the other way, right here, we just generally write this. Okay, so here we go, number 13. Now, it says that a barn, listen to me now, a barn is 40 feet by 100 feet. All right, now can I actually draw that on my iPad? No, because I can't draw 40 feet. That's why you have these scales. All right? Now, I want to make the scale drawing. So I'm going to represent that by making a scale drawing. All right, so if I were going to make an accurate scale drawing, then how wide would it be? Now remember, I don't like a ½ inch. Listen to me. Everybody pay attention now. I don't like a ½ inch is equal to 10 feet. I wish they would have just said 1 inch is equal to what? That's not much easier. 1 inch is how much? 20 feet. True. There's a half and a half makes one whole. So 10 feet and 10 feet make what? 20 feet. So everybody underneath that write 1 inch is equal to, what was it? 20 feet. Everybody's writing that down. All right, not optional now. When I'm writing stuff down, you're writing it down. 1 inch is equal to 20 feet. So how wide, now you see how much easier it is. How wide is my drawing? Jackson.
It's 2 inches wide.
2 inches wide. So I want everybody to put 2 inches here.
It's 5 feet long.
And what?
I mean 5 inches long.
And 5 inches long. That's what we need. All right. That's what the drawing would look like. 2 inches by 5 inches. All right. Yes, ma'am. What do you mean? Okay, so let's look. Do you agree that 1 inch is 20 feet?
Yeah.
So if your barn is 40 feet, that would be? How many inches? How many? Well, wait. No, here's, I think, what you're misunderstanding. I'm not asking you to convert. I'm saying 1 inch is the same as 20 feet. So if I measure something that's 40 feet, then on the drawing, I should make it how many inches? 2 inches. Because 1 inch represents what? Yes. No, 1 inch represents what? Does that make sense now? I'm sure. Right? So now that you understand that, if I said, okay, you have 100 feet, then you see why I put 5 inches. That makes sense, right? Good job. All right? If you're not sure, you just got to speak up and let me help you. Because it's really simple. Really simple. Ed, are you good with this so far? Mm-hmm. Tyler?
Yeah.
Jackson? Cole, you good? All right. Here we go. You got a question?
No.
All right. So again, the actual drawing would then be 2 inches by 5 inches. All right, so let's look at number 14. Okay, it says on a map, the key indicates that 1 centimeter is equal to 3.5 meters. So I want everybody to write that down. 1 centimeter is equal to 3.5 meters. The road is shown on the map that runs 30 centimeters. So if you take a map and you measured it, it was 30 centimeters. The question is, how many meters long is it? I want everybody to take the calculator out. I want everybody to tell me what the answer is. Molly, did you tell me? Yay, thank you, kiddo. 105 meters. This is how I know whether or not you understand me. Jolie, are you okay with this or not?
Yeah, I just had that confusing part.
Okay, so now, if you're having trouble with that, listen to me, watch me. Ready? I want you to write on your paper 1 centimeter is to 3.5 meters. They're asking about 30 centimeters. Where does 30 go? On the top or the bottom? Right. And X goes down here. And now we just automatically know, well, let's multiply. All right? And that tells you 1 is equal to 30 times 3.5. I'm trying to convince you that you don't need to set up a proportion if you're able to think about it. Right? If 1 centimeter is 3.5, you have 30 centimeters, so you have what? 30 3.5.
Okay.
All right? I'm good. All right, let's try number 15. All right, I'll let you, Tyler, go.
Alright, so the Golden Gate Bridge is 8,980 feet long. For a science project, here we will be built a scale model of the bridge. How long is the model if you use the scale 1 millimeter equals 20 feet?
Exactly. All right. So how long would it be?
So yeah, I put that divided by 20,
Yeah.
and I got 449 millimeters.
That's what I got.
400 what?
49.
Now, 449 millimeters. Now, I'm hoping someone can say, Jolie, right? You understand now, right?
Yeah.
You have to decide if you're multiplying or dividing, right? And if you're confused about that, then you can just set up a proportion, and the proportion will tell you if you cross multiply or divide. Is everybody with me? Am I making sense? Oh, you good, right? Good, boys. Boys. Actually, you're good now, right? Avery, no problems. All right. So now let's take a look at number 16. Cole, go ahead. Read it to me.
Lily is cordial is 10 centimeters by 15 centimeters. She wants to enlarge it a little bit. Using a scale is 1 centimeter equals 5 dimensions of centimeters.
So now let me ask you this. So on the test last year, and this is why I think this is easy, but according to the test, it was not easy. So I'm trying to do a better job explaining this year. This right here, how many answers are we looking for here? We're looking for one answer or two answers?
Looking for 1? No. Well, 2 because you're trying, but technically that would be 1.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying we're drawing a new picture, right?
Yeah.
And the new picture is going to be inches by inches. So 1 centimeter is to 1.5 inches. So now we're going to all right. So here we go. So this right here is measuring 10 by 15. So everybody draw themselves a photograph. And we're going to put 10 centimeters by 15 centimeters. Now we're going to enlarge it to inches. All right. So Cole, I'm asking you, if I change this over to inches, what are the dimensions going to be?
You're going to times both of them by 3.
Yes. Going to multiply both of them by what, please?
Or
Yes, by 1.5. And then tell me the dimension when you do that.
I got 15. It's
22.5 inches by 15 inches. Is everybody good with that? Do you understand that? Yeah, I don't think so. All right. All right, hopefully getting better. All right, now I want to go ahead and knock out number 17. So who's going to do 17? Go ahead.
On a map, the key indicates that 1 inch equals 50 miles. It is 600 miles from Ricky's house to the Willis Tower in Chicago. What is distance from Ricky's house to the Wells Tower on the map?
Yeah, I think this is the simple one. So tell me.
So it's just 600 divided by 50.
Yeah, like I said, what is that?
It's 12.
12 what?
It's like 12 miles.
So your map's 12 miles long?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
12
12 inches.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, again, the thing that troubled some of the kids, they weren't sure about the units last year on the test too, so I'm stressing the units. Right? To me, it makes kind of sense. On a map, you can't have 12-mile map, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's 12 inches on the map, right? And most of us, you guys probably have never seen a map, right? There you go. Meaning like a road map, right? I remember getting in the car and having to take out a map to figure out how to get to Indiana, where I'm from.
I didn't know how to download that yesterday, so.
Wow, that's interesting. Very good.
My dad had to like yell at me.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, so my mom used to leave me home alone before I had a phone, and she would bring out like an old phone, and she would plug it into the wall and say, "If you need me, call me on this."
Was it a rotary one? Or was
I can't remember. It was old though.
Probably
It was old.
five phones to St. Augustine, so when they took one away, I could.
You wouldn't if you picked it.
Well, actually, did
You would like do the spinny
Yeah,
thing,
it was that.
and then you would pick it up, and it would have like a wire connected to
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's the rotary.
All right, that was funny. Okay, so now, guys, listen. How much time do we have?
We have like 6 minutes.
All right.
7 minutes.
So let's do this. What I want you to do is, I want you to try to figure out these 6-word problems. That's your homework. That's it. Just these 6. All right. I want everybody to try. All right. And tomorrow we're gonna go and give the answers. All right. And make sure you write the proper units, please. All right. Make sure you do the proper units. Good. All right. That's it for today, guys. Do those 6 right now. Work on them. Try to get it done before the bell rings. You don't have any homework. Yep, 6-word problems. All right, guys. Hopefully you heard everything. Hopefully you're okay. Again, don't worry about the 3rd worksheet. Just work on the first 6. And we're going to go over those tomorrow to make sure you understood everything I said for today. Okay?
Okay. All right then.
Take care. I'll see you guys hopefully soon, but stay safe.
All right.